Numbers 20. Somebody read to me verse 12.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron.
Because ye believe me not.
Because ye believe me not.
To sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel.
Watch this. To sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel.
Therefore, ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them.
The responsibility given to them was automatically terminated. Because you could not believe me to sanctify. Read it again.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron. Because ye believe me not.
Can you say this? You may be claiming to have believed God. He said unto Aaron and Moses, because you believe me not.
To sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel.
That you might sanctify me before the eyes of the people of Israel.
Therefore,
hold on. Sanctifying God. Before now, I taught you about your own sanctification. But here we are talking about sanctifying God. I told you that sanctification itself is cleansing from unavoidable defecation. Cleansing from unavoidable defecation. And I told you that it takes the glory of God for one to be sanctified. And I told you that the glory of God is talking about the power of his presence. I went further to say that it takes the capacity of the pangs of life that one can bear for the fullness of the glory of God to come. Hello? I went further to say that when the fullness of the glory of God comes, it sanctifies, it purifies, and it fortifies. Lend me your ears. But here, God said to Moses and Aaron, because you believe me not, to sanctify me before the eyes of the people of Israel. We are talking about sanctification. We are talking about sanctification of God. One thing is for you to be sanctified. Another one is for you to sanctify the Lord your God. You have to bring cleansing. You have to bring cleansing. To the name of the living God. And God said to Moses and Aaron, because you believe me not, I want to open your eyes here. You believe in God brings sanctification to his name. It brings cleansing from unavoidable defecation against the name of the living God. Your belief in God. And when I talk about your belief, I mean your trust. Trusting God with all thy heart brings about sanctification to his holy name. And when Moses and Aaron could not believe him, and what does he mean by they couldn't believe him? What was the sign of they not believing him? Being so much angry over the excesses of the people of Israel, let them not obey the voice of the Lord, and the Lord counted it for them not believing him. Lend me your ears. Whereas, listen to where I'm drawing the curtain. Whereas it takes the fullness of the glory of God for one to be sanctified. Hello, God's people. It takes also the fullness of the glory of God for one to be in total obedience to God. Listen, what did Aaron and Moses did? Disobeying God's voice that commanded him to point at the rock, and now went and smote the rock. Now it takes obedience for God to be sanctified. It takes one's obedience to God's voice for God to be sanctified. And such obedience cannot be found except in the fullness of the glory of God as well. Lend me your ears. Obedience is the total submission of one's life to tolerance. When we talk about obedience, we are talking about the total submission of your life to tolerance. I don't know how many of you that are still counting offenses unto anger, bitterness, sadness, murmuring. Do you know what you are doing? You are losing the moment of sanctification of the name of the living God. See, sanctification to the name of the living God results to great promotion in your life. Promotion cometh not from the east, nor from the west, but from above. Listen, the more the name of the Lord is sanctified by you, the more you are promoted. And let me warn you, you need promotion. The more you go higher and higher and higher in responsibility. And that is why I'm talking to you. Guide yourselves. You cannot sanctify God except by your obedience to his word. Your obedience to God's word cannot be found except in a height of belief in you. That height of belief cannot be found except in the fullness of his glory that sanctifies you, purifies you, fortifies you. There is a height of fortification that will rise your belief, and that belief will give you sure obedience to God despite every situation. You may think you can obey him, but something will happen for you to disobey him. Before you know it, the disobedience is completely established. Lend me your ears. Because Moses could not point at the rock, but hit at the rock. And why did Moses hit at the rock? Hello, God's people. To ensure that water comes. He may have pointed and it didn't work, because he first and foremost demonstrated anger before pointing. And when it couldn't work, he remembered he struck before and it worked. He struck and it came. Listen, God's miracles through you unto men comes in your total obedience to him. You are the total submission of your life to tolerance. Insults will be coming. Listen to me. Be very wise to notice insults, but don't count them as an offense. Jesus said, woe unto them. Woe unto this world because of offenses. Offenses must come, but woe unto whosoever through whom it comes. Because all on earth has sinned and have come short of the glory of God, offenses must come. Why? That you might be promoted. Am I talking to God's people? Yes, sir. Listen. It takes obedience for God to be sanctified. Sanctifying God gives you promotion. But that obedience that sanctifies God is considered in how much you are sanctified, how much you are pure, you are purified, and how much you are fortified. So many times you are expected to sanctify him that you might step forward. You'll be losing it. Nobody has told you that you've been losing it, and the offenses has been taken over you, and you do not count it as anything because you do not know. Lend me your ears. You have to be careful in your judgment, because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. Listen to me, be very careful on how you operate. Be very, very careful. This is important for you to learn this night, on the 6th night. One thing is for you to be sanctified, purified, fortified for God to be sanctified. Not being able to sanctify God brought Moses' responsibility to an end. Brought Aaron's responsibility to an end. And their existence was terminated. Even as I'm talking to you, a lot of offenses will come. A lot of insults. A lot of challenges. How prepared are you to face them? Knowing fully well that each time you are able to obey God's voice. I am speaking to you because some of you will become offended and leave a responsibility in anger. I bet let them take their book and take their meeting and do it by themselves. You were employed in the position of that meeting spiritually for a purpose. You were brought to that church for a purpose. That position you are occupying is for a purpose. But in anger, you relinquish the position thinking you are right. I want you to watch your back. And don't allow men to shift you. Don't allow any form of anger, bitterness, sadness, murmuring to make you disobey God. To make you not to come to church when you're supposed to come. To make you not to do for God what you have been appointed or chosen to do for him. You may be the one sweeping the compound. Your conclusion may be, nobody gave me message to sweep it. I decided on myself. But listen, you never decide by yourself. It was put into you to do it. You only understood him and what he wants from you, and you are doing it. And ever since you are doing it, there is every conviction in you that you are doing the right thing. There is sign in you that you are touching God's heart. Now you allow anger. Somebody insulted you on the line of the duty. You left the sweeping. It may not be an insult. That sweeping has become the voice of God, a command. You sweeping has become an obedience. Now you allow employment to make you not to do it again, because after now you got a job. You could not figure out between you and your job how to continue with this humble assignment that has become God's voice in your life. As obedient, you abandoned it. It doesn't mean you have no business, but business came after prayers were made, and the business is now the reason for you not to come to church again. Not because there is no time, but because there is stress. But God wanted you to bear that stress as a pain, to bear the stress as a pain for higher glory. But you now surrender to that pain to rest at home, because there is enough food. When there was no food, and when there was no hope, you were regular. And one thing you were doing for him, even your presence in the church means a lot. That presence of yours encourages one or two people. But little do you know that the more someone sees you, this sister is always punctual, I will be like her. I'll be coming to church. Somebody has used you to encourage himself, but you decamp. The moment you slow down, you have deceived those souls. But little do you know that you have destroyed God's foundation. I want everyone here this evening, this night, to think. Have you ever thought of sanctifying the name of the living Father? Have you ever understood that one thing is for you yourself to be sanctified? Another one is for the name of the living Father to be sanctified. And that the sanctification of the name of the living God takes you to higher promotion in life, which no man nor woman, youth or child on earth can stop. You may be earning 100 million. Promotion comes, it becomes to 200 million in a month. You may be earning 1 billion. Promotion comes, it becomes to 2 billion. You may be earning 10,000. Promotion comes, it becomes 20,000. Something that you get every day, I must get 20,000. Surprisingly, you begin to get 30,000 every day. Before you know it, after some time, 40,000. Before you know it, 100,000. Your business sales that record in a month 100,000 has become 500,000 in a month. Your business sales has become 1 million. Suddenly, XX, because you are being promoted. That promotion doesn't come by praying and fasting. That promotion doesn't come by the gift items you give in the church. The promotion comes by you sanctifying the name of the living Father. And the only way you can do is in your total obedience to him. Stand on your feet, everyone.